Okay, let's go.
Hello, ChickChatters. We are back with a story of the freaking week.
Yay! And welcome back to all of our subscribers. We love you guys.
We wouldn't be here without you, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, actually, we were, we'd still be doing something like this.
Not here. Anne doesn't let me look at her face when we're on the phone, so this is a blessing.
It's a blessing for Brooke. So today we have a different forum for you guys, a brand new forum for you, Brooke. It's called Advice for Teens is the forum. And this is from 35 days ago. And it's titled
for Teens.
Advice for Teens.
You know that I have a minor in teen studies.
You were trying to make a Kendrick Lamar joke, like a minor.
Oh, a minor. No, I have a bachelor's degree with a minor in teen studies. So,
well,
I'm an expert in this area.
In the teen advice area. After her 6-day spree in France, she was able to pull this off.
I was able to acquire myself a minor.
A minor. And of all things.
Of all things in teen studies.
If we were monetized, we would not be monetized right now. So this story is titled, My Mom Wants Me to Be Having X. And it's just so weird.
Okay.
It's a want for this mother. So it starts, okay, so it might sound weird, okay? But literally my 19 female mom wants me to start having X. I'm assuming the poster is 19 and not the mother.
I was just going to ask. Thank you.
Clarified that for y'all right quick.
Okay, so she's 19.
I think so. It says, like, it's so weird. She gives me the okay to have X all the time. And then she thinks that I'm a lesbian because I don't spread my legs for a man. She had me at 1920, and I made a post like this before saying she wants me to have kids soon. But she called me yesterday and was disappointed when I told her I'm not focused on X. I want to have my own everything and be on birth control before I have X. Like my own car, my own apartment, my own money, so that if I get pregnant, I can take care of my responsibility myself. I don't want to have a struggle baby. And she was like, that's smart, but you're already 19 and you'll be 20. And the f you mean I'll be 20 next year? Like, I don't even care to talk to her anymore. I know she's my mom, but I would never do my future kids like that. It's just weird and wrong as hell. Should I tell her about herself or just stop talking to her? I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt because she's my mom, but I don't know anymore.
Those options are not great.
Tell her about herself.
Or ghost her? I think there might be somewhere in between to land.
I want to know what's up with this mom. Most parents are trying to preach the opposite, you know? Like,
yeah,
please get yourself together before you start doing all these things. I don't think every person has to have their life fully together to take that step. I don't think she should be doing that with any guy. She's in a stable, loving relationship and she wants to take it to that. That's fine. But that's also at her own discretion. I don't know. What's your professional advice with your minor?
With my A minor. I don't know. I mean, at first I was horrified because I didn't know that she was 19. I don't think her being 19 really changes this a whole ton.
I'm still horrified.
Yeah, I'm definitely still horrified that she's pushing having any kind of intimacy that she's not ready for. At any age, it doesn't matter. If you're not ready for it, you're not ready for it. You could have already have been doing that in your life and still decide that you don't want to do it anymore. It's a perfectly normal thing to do. I think already this mom is pushing some kind of weird ideology. And then to add on top of that, that you should be having children at this age, especially if you're not set up financially, it's a really weird thing. Part of me wonders if maybe the mom wants to redo the whole have a baby too young kind of thing through being a grandma, but maybe I'm just reading too much into it. I just can't understand why someone would push that life on their kid, especially when you know what the struggle is yourself firsthand. So
yeah,
I don't know. I think it's really weird. I don't like the options that this person is giving themselves. I mean, you can tell her about herself, but how about you just tell her about yourself? I just don't like the options that are being given to us from her because I think that there's a lot of space in between telling her about herself and cutting her off, basically. Maybe you just tell her about you. You just tell her that you don't want to have kids right now, and you don't want to have kids maybe ever. I don't know. Like, what 19-year-old knows what kind of life they're gonna have? So I think she should just say no and then move on. I get that it sounds like this has been a persistent thing, but just keep saying no, unless it's really that abusive in your mind that you feel like you have to cut your mom off. But that's not an option for people acting how you don't like. You can't just disappear. You just tell people how you feel.
So I don't know. It seems like she does keep telling her mom the same thing and she don't want to listen to it. I don't know. I guess this is just such a weird scenario because I just could never imagine my mom telling me to do all these things.
Right.
Something's off with your mom a little bit. And I don't know if it's a generational thing. Like, I don't know if it's something that she thinks she's just going to keep going and going.
So
and who
part
wants to
of
be a
me,
grandparent at like 38, 40 years old, like intentionally, you know, like if
True.
it happens, it happens. But
True. Part
the
of me
more
is thinking that because this whole lesbian situation got brought up, which is strange, I wonder if this mom maybe has some religious values or something and wants to confirm to her own self that her daughter is straight, maybe, because I don't know
maybe.
why anyone would also be asking questions about that. That's something that even if you know about your child, you let your child come to you and say. So this mom just has poor boundaries. I could see a mom, especially when your kid's 19, depending on what kind of social life they've had in high school. I could see a mom being pushy about dating, being pushy about making friends, about going out and even being emotionally intimate with people. I could see that happening. But to open yourself up in a physical way to all kinds of things, if you're not ready for that, you're not ready for that. There's so much more that comes to it other than just the physical part of that. So all kinds of things could happen. You could have a baby, you could have a disease, you could die. Like, it's just, you could be
Yeah.
traumatized. You don't know.
Yeah,
So
what's this mom gonna do if one day her daughter does decide to do all this and she comes back with HIV or something? And then it's your fault, you know?
yeah, what if you don't have a grandbaby? What if you have a child who's HIV positive now? What are you gonna do then?
And who wants a grandbaby at 38, 40 years old? Why push that on somebody?
She just got done raising her own daughter. Maybe that's it. Maybe this woman
Mm,
has baby fever. She doesn't want to push out her own baby, and so she's pushing for her baby to have a baby.
maybe. That's the theory. You know, I do have another theory. And I wonder if this is all reverse psychology. So this way, if she pushes this so much that her kid won't even want to do it. Because at this point,
Right.
this girl's probably not wanting to do it at all. If
Possible.
that was something that's being pushed and pushed and pushed on you, I'd be like, no, I'm good. I'll be celibate forever. You know,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
maybe it's just like a reverse psychology tactic. I don't know.
Yeah. I like that idea. That could be possible, but I just feel like this mom can't be that smart. I don't know. She's not passing the sniff test for me to be that intelligent. She's not as smart as you, Anne.
I just am hoping that's what this is, because otherwise this is so weird and inappropriate.
It's weird and inappropriate.
At this point, if I was even this girl, I'd just be lying to her and be like, "Yeah, I was getting it last night."
That's a good option.
Give her away.
That's a good option. Just
Give her what she
tell her.
wants. Give her a
Yeah.
story. I used to say that all the time when I was out at the bars and stuff. I never would give my real name and everything. And sometimes my friends would be like, "Why do you do that?" Because I'll be like, "Oh, my name is Nicole and I'm an oral surgeon," or "Oh, my name is Claudia and I'm a dolphin trainer." That was my favorite one, Claudia the dolphin trainer. But
Yeah, I've heard that.
you know, I was in the DA, I should say, not oral surgeon, but a DA. They'd be like, "Why do you do that?" And I'm like, "Well, because these people don't care who I am. They don't know me. They just want to hear a story. So I'll give them whatever story they want. They just don't get mine." You know?
It sounds like that's the case with this mom too. She doesn't really care to know what her daughter wants or what her actual dreams or ambitions or goals are. She just wants her daughter to repeat her life,
Yeah, she
which
just
is
wants,
so weird.
or she wants to like live through her up with a bunch of guys. I don't know. I just ew, you know, like it's
This
just
is
gross.
giving 10 years down the road, the story of the week that we did where the mom slept with the girl's husband. Like, this is giving that in 10 years.
Oh my god, probably. Or it's giving you the mom from Mean Girls.
That's what I was thinking when you were reading the story. Do you want any condoms? No? Okay, bye.
Yeah. Only at least that was just like, let me just keep you protected
What's
to
next? Is
do
she
it.
gonna throw her some kind of lose your virginity party? Just
Oh
bring
my
over all these men
gosh.
and maybe a piñata we had over the weekend for my bachelorette party.
Oh my gosh, it's just so inappropriate. Like the whole conversation with her mom is just so weird and inappropriate. And like,
It was.
I don't blame her for being like, "Oh, I'm not going to do this to my kids."
Squeak, squeak.
Sorry, that's my puppy. I don't know if I should take her toy from her. You might hear that off and on. Yeah, if you hear little meep meep in the back, my puppy's playing with her Gumby. So don't mind her. She's just a precious little being from above. She just wants to play with her Gumby toy in peace.
Yeah, she's already 45 pounds.
No, but she is probably like 20.
Yeah, she's already bigger than my dog.
Oh yeah, she's definitely bigger than Prince already, and she's
She
like
came probably
15
bigger
weeks
than
old. She's about the size Jago was at her age, though.
I guess I would tell this girl first and foremost to tell her mom to stop, but I think you're right. It sounds like she's been telling her mom to stop for quite a while. So I feel like the next best option might be to lie to her.
Yeah, just be like, I'm doing it. Don't
Yeah,
worry about me.
been there, done that. Still don't want kids. Sorry
Yeah.
about your luck. Go adopt a baby.
Yeah, even be like, I went to the gynecologist. They told me I'm infertile. Whatever you got to do to get this woman off your back. She's going to keep asking if you keep telling her no, too. So just be like, yeah, I got it in last night. Some rando. I think he might have HIV or something. I didn't even ask.
You should play the worst prank on her ever. You should go to the doctor, have the doctor call her and confirm that you're about to die from chlamydia, and then we'll see what
chlamydia of all things. I don't think that can kill you, but something like that.
Doesn't it eat your brain?
I don't know. Maybe if you never treat it.
I think if it's never treated, but I don't know. Never had it.
Normally we're not toxic like this, but apparently this mom's really persistent on this. So honestly, maybe just tell her what she wants to hear, and then she might leave you alone. Or it could open up a doorway for her to keep asking for more info. If she gets weird like that, you got to have a real talk with her and be like, you are unwell, man.
Right.
Maybe then you could tell her about herself when you finally give her the answer she wants. If she's still acting like a psycho, then go ahead and tell her about herself.
I agree.
I mean,
it doesn't look like you can die from chlamydia, by the way, in case anyone was wondering.
It doesn't eat your brain.
It doesn't eat your brain.
The top comment says, don't fall into a generational trauma trap.
That's all it says?
Yeah. It's just short and sweet to the point. Just don't do it. I don't think this girl is even inclined to do it. I think she's more like, how do I handle my
How do I get my mom off my back? And honestly, I couldn't tell you what to do with that lady. She has poor boundaries. I would move away. If you're living with her, definitely get out from under her roof, and then you can lie about your sex life.
Yeah, then you're good. Someone said, did your mom's life peak when she had you? This may be a hard thing for her to accept. Absolutely maintain your independence and make your own choices. Keep your freedom and live a good life. Yeah, that's a valid question,
Yeah. I mean, even if it didn't peak, even if it got worse, again, I think that a lot of people like to try to repeat their problems and do better. And we never are able to do much better.
This person has posted a lot in forums to the point where when you click on their profile, they have like an NSFW warning, which is interesting because a lot of these posts don't seem to need an NSFW warning, but probably because of the post about her mom. But there's a post a day ago about how do I date. There's another post from a day ago saying I'm moving in 5 months and I need help. This girl really likes Reddit. So,
yeah. It sounds like she probably doesn't have a great relationship with her mom either. I mean, it's a huge assumption. These are all questions I would ask my mom, right? Like, how do you date? You'd ask your friends that too, but I feel like if you have a good enough relationship with your mom, you talk to your mom about those kinds of things, like what's appropriate and what boundaries are normal and all kinds of things. And same thing with moving out. My mom was instrumental in all of those things in my life.
Somebody said, what is it with these young people? You guys are pathetic and afraid of your own shadow. Yes, it's not normal to be almost 20 and not have a sex drive. I'm sorry, it's just not. There's something really wrong with the youth. The safe bet is endocrine distributors in the environment from plastic being in our food and water supply. It's lowering male testosterone levels. Your mother is concerned because this isn't normal. Your mother's wish for grandchildren is perfectly normal. Yes, it's okay to not want to have children at 20. In my opinion, 28 to 30 is a great age to start having children. Wow.
Did they just completely contradict themselves, or am I crazy?
Yes, because they just said that this woman being concerned is normal.
And then they said you basically shouldn't be having kids for another 10 years.
8 years. And it's like, yes, having kids between 25, there is no right age, I guess, to have a child. I mean, past 20 would be great. Anything, maybe after the drinking age,
Sure.
But to say that the mom being concerned is natural, but in the same breath be like, 28 to 30 is a great age to start having kids. I get like if the mom was pressuring her at that age, but she's pressuring her at 19 years old. She ain't even 20 yet.
Yeah.
And ain't nothing wrong with the youth because they don't want to.
It's one thing, like I said earlier, to not be social or not have friends or not want to date at all. But it's not like she's an alien for not wanting to go outside and hook up with whoever's out there. We all know if you're under 50, even some 50-year-olds know what it's like to date online.
Mm-hmm.
I have not even done it before, but we all know what it's like to date online. It's treacherous out there, especially if you're 19.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants to go and just, in her mom's words, even though I hate this phrase, spread your legs for some kind? I hate that. It's like so derogatory. So derogatory. But who wants to go do that for the 19-year-old males out here or females out here these days? Nobody at 19, 16, whatever age knows what they're doing. People are not kind. Online dating is disgusting. Mm-hmm. It's full of horny people. And if you're not at that stage in life where you're wanting to do that, it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
And it's not abnormal to not want to do that. What do you mean?
I know. I'm wondering, like, what generation are y'all from? That this is so weird that people might want to be celibate. There are some people that just stay celibate till marriage, and that's totally perfectly
Ever heard of
fine.
a nun?
Never heard. Yes, a nun, a priest. There are people who just wait. No. When I was younger, that's what I wanted to do. That was my main goal, was to remain celibate till I got married. And there's many times in my life where I wish I had done that. I wish I had actually kept myself to that. But you know, what's done is done. I've lived a life. Maybe I was doing that before 19. That's my business, not my mom's. My mom wanted to ask me about that. I'd be like, girl, stay in your lane. I don't ask you about that part of your life. You don't got to talk to me about mine.
If I talked to somebody who told me that they waited until 19, 20, 21 to start doing that activity for the first time in their life, I would respect the hell out of that.
Yeah, not only does it take a lot of self-control, but in the society we're in right now, if you aren't doing that, you get made fun of. I remember when I was in high school, I had a boyfriend for like 3 years, and I didn't do that with him for at least the first 2.5. Mm-hmm. And people thought I was lying because I was in a long relationship. So when I'd be like, oh, I'm a virgin, and people would like believe me. Like, people, oh yeah, sure, you've been with so-and-so for 2 years. I'm like, yeah, but I'm like 16. I don't know what I'm doing. The fact that she is able to remain celibate, it's a respect, because it's almost the normal to be doing that these days. And 100 years ago or 50 years ago, even, it was the normal to be celibate. So
I just feel like whatever's normal, not normal, aren't we in the era yet where we can just stop judging people's lives and what they do with their bodies? Just leave this girl alone. Her mom needs to leave her alone. This commenter needs to leave her alone. There's nothing wrong with this generation other than maybe they want to cut people off a little too fast. But other than that, I think they're fine.
Yeah.
The kids are all right. Isn't that the saying?
So the OP responded to that, and they said, in all caps, this is all caps, you guys. OP said, I am scared of sex because I've never had anything inside me before. I am afraid of dick. You weirdo. Know what you're talking about before you comment.
Yeah. I didn't know it was that serious. She's afraid.
I guess she's afraid. And I would be probably at this point, if my mom keeps pushing it on me, let this girl go through her thing, you know? And if you're truly afraid, I don't know if she's a lesbian or not. She could be. I mean, would that really be the worst thing? And even if so, just because you're afraid of something doesn't also mean you're a lesbian too. Maybe she just needs to go to therapy or something and kind of figure out her own feelings about this. But the fact that she's already struggling with this, and then her mom wants to push this on her all the time, it's going to make her want to do it even less and less and less. Her mom's pushing her to be a lesbian at this point.
Right.
That's what she's afraid of. That original commenter commented back, and I have to read this. So
yes, please.
The commenter said, I read the comment. I was speaking generally. You're not the only one in your age group who is hesitant. There's been a significant decrease according to the recent research I have heard about. There's also far more disruptors in our environment that are affecting males and females. There's a book called Countdown that covers it in great detail. There's also research that shows that your generation is excessively risk adverse, which I was speaking to as well. I didn't dive right in either. I passed on several opportunities until I was in a situation that felt right. You will know when it's the right time. Desire will overpower fear. Everyone is nervous in the beginning. You left caps lock on. Hope you find what you are looking for. Good luck.
Petty ass.
I don't think that she left it on. I think she
No,
meant
that was on purpose.
the only part I truly agree with is that bottom part where it's like you'll know when it's right for you and you won't be as scared anymore. When it's the right person, you won't be scared. It won't matter if it's a guy, a girl, or yourself. Like,
Yeah.
you'll know when it's the right time to be doing whatever down there. But
And that's the best way to talk about appropriately choosing to take a risk. In any risk, the desire will overpower the fear, and then you'll decide to do it. That's just how you determine if you want to take any kind of risk. If you determine at any time that all the time the fear overpowers, then maybe you should seek therapy so you can experience life. But you're also allowed to not experience life. That is your prerogative. You can be stuck in your house forever if you would like. I'm not saying it's healthy, but you're allowed to choose that. You're your own person.
Oh, yeah. I think that it's interesting that this commenter waited till they were ready, but they're telling this person that all of youth is just weird because, like, we've
Is
all
this her
lost, like,
mom?
I don't know, I'm wondering. It could be her mom. You know, I wonder what this book is about too, because here's the thing, every individual is different. So it's
Yeah,
weird
what's
to
it
say
called?
that all of the youth are suffering from this when, like, most people I know are not.
What
You know
is
what
this
I mean?
book called?
It's called Countdown. I don't see how you could know what every teenaged or young person is feeling and thinking. To be honest with you, I feel like the last 15, 20 years, we've been the most sexualized that we've ever been as a society. So I don't know why you're saying that
Which
these
would
people
actually
lost the
make
drugs.
sense as to why, if true, the newest generation would not be having actual sex. The more that society becomes sexualized, the more it becomes intensified as well. That's why it's so normalized for guys to be sending their peen everywhere. And just like you said, it makes people retreat more than anything.
But even so, I still feel like teenagers are still doing it. In every generation of people, there are groups of teenagers still doing it. So I don't know where you get off on all this. The youth, the youth. Like, you're not even in the youth anymore. You don't know what the youth is thinking. You got to read a book about it. You got to do research that you've heard and not read other than this book. So I don't know. I just feel like that's a very harsh comment, but you know, to each their own. So there is an edit. The edit says, my mom knows I'm scared of both sex and pregnancy, but she just dismisses it and says, that's silly. Everyone has sex and that pregnancy is normal. Like, what? And also, thank you to everyone that's commenting, except the weirdos telling me to listen to my mom. F you. But to everyone else, your comments are so, so appreciated.
See, that's something I don't like, though. If you're coming online and you're asking people's opinions, if they disagree with what you're looking for, then just don't ask people's opinions. It sounds like you already made your mind up.
Yeah, I mean, I think she knows. But I think the main thing she was asking was how
how to
to
talk
talk
to
to her mom and not if she should be taking her mom's advice.
That's
So that's not even what she was asking. She was asking, like, do I cut this woman off or do I tell her about herself? She wasn't asking, should I be taking my mom's advice? Am I weird?
If she gave better options, we might be commenting on.
I don't even think she knows what option. I mean, she's 19. Those probably are her best options. They're fight or flight sometimes. This is a definite fight or flight situation, I think. Her last edit says, for the people asking about my dad, he's passed, okay? He was an amazing father, and also the people saying my mom probably is lonely or wants to be a grandma. I haven't lived with her since I was 2 years old. And she didn't take care of me. And if I was about to get pregnant, she wouldn't help me. I know how my mom is, and she is controlling and manipulative. For people to think that I'm lying or controlling about this is insane.
I'm done with this mom. I've now decided, learning that she has not lived with her daughter since the age of 2, which I have more questions about, but I don't think I'll get those answers. And that she's probably not likely to help her or be very involved. I think this mom just wants to set her daughter up for failure. This is one of those people that are miserable if anyone around them is doing better than them. And this girl has now hit her age of 19 where she probably feels like she ruined her life because obviously she's not a mother to her own daughter. So she probably has feelings about that. And so she wants to ruin her daughter's life too because God forbid somebody actually do better than her. I'm done with this mom. She's
Yep.
terrible.
That just changed the whole story for me, to be honest. Before I was like, maybe she's just weird or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe she's just trying to live through her or something. But now that I know that the mom isn't even involved, she's just sabotaging you. If your dad was around, I'm sure he'd be telling you to do the opposite.
This story should be called "My Weird Older Sister is Trying to Force Me to Have a Baby." That's what it should be called.
It's toxic, and honestly, go ahead and tell her about herself now.
Tell her about herself. Yeah, your options are great. Either leave this woman who's never been a mom, or tell her about herself and then leave. No, we're done here. This is your strange older sister. I'm very sorry that she's your mom.
Yeah. I wish you would have mentioned this in the story originally, because that would have definitely filled in some gaps. And I also think you would have got better comments too.
Yeah,
because
totally.
she seemed pretty upset by a lot of the comments. And honestly, a lot of these comments were freaking weird.
If you go back now and read it from the perspective of my weird older sister is telling me to have a baby, I'm sure she is angry. She should be angry. These people don't understand.
Or my deadbeat mom who left me to fend for myself.
Where did she live?
2. I'm guessing with a grandparent or her dad until he passed or something. If she didn't raise you, why would she even? Why? Of course she wants you to have a damn baby, because she don't got to raise that baby either. I don't think this woman wants to be a grandma. I just think it's what you said. I think she's setting her up. You have the same issues that she had. She might think that this girl might have ruined her life. But to be honest, if you haven't been around for this girl since the age of 2, that puts you at what? 21, 22? You had a whole life to live at that point.
Yeah.
You're probably doing whatever. You're probably doing what you were asking her to do. Love to see this woman's body count, honestly, because if this is what she's pushing on her 19-year-old, this woman's got a body count.
Yep. Longer than
a cemetery.
A whole roll of toilet paper.
More bodies than a cemetery, I swear.
The double rolls, too.
Yeah, no, I'm done with this mom, too. Yeah, you can tell her off if you want. My answer's changed.
Yep.
Maybe, if you want, you can try to give her what she wants just to see her reaction. I might do that too. I might be like, yeah, I did last week.
Yeah, or tell her that you're pregnant, see how she reacts. And I don't know, you could do whatever. This lady is not even your mom. I'm very sorry that you are in a situation where you unfortunately have to turn to Reddit for all kinds of advice. Bad advice, by the way, too. People are not giving good advice.
I'm sorry that your dad's not around too. That's gotta be tough to be left with this woman as the only living biological parent that you have. I wonder if there's anybody else you could reach out to, though, like an aunt or like grandmother. Maybe not about this, but about the other questions that you were asking in other forums, like how to date. There was so many questions in a lot of different forums. I feel for you. Maybe eventually at some point you won't be afraid to take that next step with the right person.
I wonder if she doesn't want to be intimate with somebody. Imagine all the attachment issues and problems she has with relationships. If what happened to her dad probably happened at a young age. If you're 19, it doesn't matter what age it is, it's still too early to lose a parent. And then your mom isn't around and that's by choice. No, there's no way that this person is ready to have behavior that could lead to a baby themselves. That's just too much.
And she acknowledges that and knows that. At least when you're not ready, you're not ready, and you're doing the right thing.
You can take precautions and you're not going to repeat generational curses like the first commenter said. So yeah, this changes everything.
You don't owe that woman. You don't owe any of these commenters. You don't owe us. You don't owe anybody anything. You do what you want to do. And if your mom has something to say about it, that woman ain't even really your mom anyways. See, you can do whatever you want. You can cut her off if you want. I don't even know if you need to cut her off necessarily, because I'm sure it's nice to keep that line of communication open, but you could tell her about herself. Who else is gonna other than your family? Or you could play a little trick on her and see how she reacts to either you having a baby or HIV or
all of it.
And of course, an HIV baby or something. I don't know. Or you have limitless options now, and your original options make a lot more sense to me now.
Yeah. Yep. I'm down for those options. I'm not even mad at you for it anymore.
Yeah, thank you for editing that, because the comments were wild. I don't think that you deserved any of those. I hope that you find either a really good friend, group of friends, maybe, I'm sure you have some, or like a aunt or a grandmother,
just an older lady that you work with that could kind of like take you in emotionally.
Those ones are fun. Yeah. There's somebody that you should be able to ask all these questions to. And also might be good to get their perspective on this whole mom thing. Like, the more people that tell you this ain't normal, it's good to reassure yourself that this ain't normal, because That one commenter that we read, they're out of their mind.
Completely, especially now given more context and all of that. That's
Mhm.
just really wild. And I think people will accept crumbs from crappy parents because they just want to have a parent in their life. So I think you're right. It is probably a good thing for them to hear that you don't have to accept this.
You do you, girl. You're doing great.
Mhm.
And hopefully one day when you make that next step, it's going to be your choice. It's going to be everything you wanted and it's going to be
Yeah.
worth the wait. Don't fall into peer pressure of any sort, whether it's your mom, your friends. Never thought I'd have to say your mom, but whether it's your friends, your family, your mom, your cousins, the media, whatever.
This girl actually sounds like she has a good head on her shoulders considering everything that must have gone on in her life since the age of 2.
If you're watching this, our advice to you is basically do whatever you want.
Yeah, keep following your path because you've
Mhm.
done good thus far.
If you want to even combine your options and tell her about herself and then say goodbye, you can do that. I'm not really for completely cutting someone off totally, but maybe take a break. Like I do that with my sister all the time. Like I got to take breaks from her constantly. So maybe just take
good
like a break.
boundaries are good, and there's obviously not good boundaries here if the mom is trying to influence her life in that way.
Yeah, and maybe just take a break from her for a while. Even block her number for a little bit. And if she asks, be like, you know what? I'm sick of hearing this. I'm so sick of this. If you want to have a relationship with me at all, if you want to continue these weird conversations or talk to me in general, then you're gonna let this stuff go. Hit her with the ultimatum because she's being weird. I think she's setting you up.
It feels like a setup, especially if she's not in the dynamic where she just wants to have a baby around to take care of. They're not living together. I made a lot of assumptions before about what kind of mom this was, but this ain't that.
No, it ain't that.
Mm-mm.
This ain't that.
Not just.
It's not just. And it just ain't that.
None of that.
Thank you for joining us, Chick Chatters, for this really interesting episode of
what a
Story
turn
of
of
the Week.
events. Yeah, you really had to stick around for the end for this one. So
Oh yeah, we went all different ways on this one, but
yeah, if you stuck around to the end, you should drop a tornado emoji.
oh yeah, because that's basically what this was.
We'll be peeping you.
We'll be peeping for those tornadoes.
All right, don't forget to comment and subscribe.
We'll see you next time.
Talk to you then, Chick Chatters.
Bye.
Bye.